Its aim is to change the culture of the classroom, get students working on authentic issues, become agile, develop creative thinking skills and the ability to solve real-world problems. That's the Department of Education's E3 program that gets students creating, investigating, performing and experimenting rather than taking notes and tests. To tell us more, we are now joined by James Donald, who is the Executive Director of the Department of Education's E3 program. James, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thanks for having us, Cynthia. Morning to the viewers.
How has COVID-19 forced the department to rethink teaching and innovations?
Yeah, that's really, the whole world. I just want to start off by saying thank you to teachers. As a parent myself to children in public schools, and I'm sure many of your viewers yourselves, either are teachers or work with them. I think the group beyond the healthcare professionals, teachers have really stood up and supported us as families and parents. And I think the DBEs had to really work hard to make sure they can make sure continuous learning happens. And I think the real opportunity after your intro is the DBE talks about helping learners prepare for a changing world, the skills and competencies that they need. So the EQ program is about making sure that teachers are supported so they can create this really special caring environment for learners so they can thrive. And by 2030, the DBE would like 100% of learners to leave school inspired and ready to go to further education, employment or entrepreneurship. So that's what the EQ component is. And I think what COVID did, one example of the DBE's own agility, there's the Teacher Connect line. So I'll share the number a bit later, but there are now 150,000 teachers that are using this WhatsApp line, using technology as a way to connect and find information. And then, of course, there's also a real interest in how do we help learners recover the classes that they've missed, and also how do we help them sort of develop themselves, develop their confidence, feel cared for. And I think the good thing, if you can find a silver lining, Medusa spoke about all the storms on the horizon. I think the weather was a good intro. The good thing is, I think for years we've been talking about this rapid change, how quickly the world is changing. And COVID made that incredibly real for us. And the DBE, to be honest, have really stepped up to that challenge. It's going to be a long road ahead, but I think our country is excited and is going to be able to serve our children in a different way, and is already doing it.
Yeah, it certainly is exciting, and it leads to my next question. What new initiatives are at our disposal to promote instruction that gets students creating, investigating, performing and experimenting rather than taking notes?
Yeah, so look, teachers are swamped and overwhelmed already, right? So the last thing the DBE wants is for teachers to have to do new things. So there has been a long-standing process to try and transform our economy and the way we prepare young people for it. So, for example, there are as many as 15 new subjects that learners can take. There are lots of different things that happen. But in our curriculum already, there's a quite exciting legislation where in the third term, teachers are expected to give all learners, every grade R to 12, a different opportunity to prove what they've learned, to be assessed, rather than just writing an exam. So most teachers in the third term, in almost every subject, have their learners do projects. I'm sure you can remember doing them yourselves, or if you have kids, you're helping with projects. So what eCube is doing, it started life as an entrepreneurship in schools program. And instead of trying to create something new, rather make this part of what people are already doing. So what we do is we help teachers run a really engaging project. So we help them do their jobs by assessing children in a different way. But then that's what helps them. But then what we do is we use that opportunity of the project to show teachers that there are different ways to engage with children, where children can really become the leaders of their own learning and you can activate their own curiosity. So we talk about this entrepreneurial mindset. All children have it. It's not something that you get taught. It's not something only Elon Musk has or Patrice Motsepe has. Every child is born with this ingrained idea to test and learn in the world, and school often takes that out of them. It gets replaced by fear, it gets replaced by loneliness. So if you can create these little moments where teachers can trust themselves to build a relationship with children and allow them to develop this entrepreneurial mindset, while doing their jobs, while assessing learners, while doing all the rubrics, lots of magic can happen. So it's really just, there's a lovely Steve Biko quote, where he said the West's great gift to the world was an industrial and military look, and our gift, Africa's gift, is going to be in the field of human relations, right? A more human face. So this idea of us having to catch up with the rest of the world is sometimes wrong and dangerous. We should rather focus on the things we are good at, and relationships is something that our culture really promotes. We know how to do that. So if in the classroom, if in a project, you can create a caring environment, we have an acronym called SPECIAL, that incorporates the kind of environment that the science says people will learn and thrive in, then they will learn and thrive. And that's what teachers are already doing. And the DBE's EQ program is just helping to formalize that, helping to bring really good science of learning, helping to bring best practice, and helping to bring a lot of partners like the Lego Foundation, like Old Mutual, like others, so the DBE can focus on its core work while still performing this transformational work by going back to our roots, by going back to our relationships.
Yeah, certainly, James. And how exactly is an effective project-based learning teacher different from a non-problem-based teacher?
Yeah, I mean, I think, teachers are you're all united, right? Even if they've been frustrated or disillusioned by their work and the challenges that they face, they are united by this passion for learning and helping learners to learn. So project-based learning, where it's different to just doing a project. So, if you remember, you get asked to do a project, it's essentially just homework, if you're lucky, otherwise it's just free time in the period. Project-based learning is basically taking a learner through these steps where first they go through an inquiry process. So they get curious about the world. So imagine you want to learn about, your favorite soccer team and what are the systems behind how it runs its finances, or who sets its strategy, whatever it is that you have to learn in life orientation or even in maths, whatever the subject is. First you do inquiry. Then you do design. So then you do the actual problem. So you try to figure out, okay, what exactly is wrong? What are we trying to work out? And then you start trying to do some design phases. So there's it's a very natural process. Again, it's what we do. It's what businesses teach people to do, design thinking, all the sexy 21st century skills conversations. But again, any teacher, even in a classroom of 40 people, without many resources, is able to create this kind of special environment where teachers help children feel safe. It's okay to ask questions. And the special is the acronym itself. So we want it to be socially interactive. We want it to be play. You want it to be learner focused. You want it to be iteration. They try different things. So it really is about helping teachers do little things differently in the classroom that make their lives easier. I mean, you have to start there. Our teachers are overwhelmed already. And then helping them make their lives easier in a way that allows learners to thrive and to do what we're all created to do, which is to sort of solve problems, build relationships, and find our identity and our meaning and our purpose in life. Then the rest follows.
And what challenges do we face, James, in transforming learning opportunities for students?
I mean, the challenges, as you know, are huge. I mean, this year there are more than 700,000 matrics currently writing exams.
Yeah.
We know that number should be well over 1 million. I mean, the DBE is growing that number every year, but a lot of learners are just not getting anywhere near matric. And the way the whole school system is designed, we should be very proud of our matric exam. Actually, it's well run, it's international standards, etc. But it does come far too late. Many learners are already gone. Many learners are going to fail. Even if you do well, it's not assessment for learning. It's not helping you choose what kind of entrepreneurship opportunities do I want to pursue? Where do I want to learn further? Where do I want to add value in a company?
Yeah.
So helping bring those things earlier. And there are opportunities. There's going to be this grade 9 certificate from 2024 where the DBE is already going to start making it real assessment for learning.
Okay.
Of course, there are obviously challenges around food and people in the classrooms, all those kinds of components. But I think it's really helping teachers really feel that they are the heroes of our time. It's really helping them not feel overwhelmed, recognizing their pain and supporting them, and then helping teachers solve their problems, because every teacher, for that 40 minutes, they are the education system. So if we can help those teachers feel supported and have what they need, and many will know, in many very difficult schools, difficult situations, there are amazing teachers doing incredible work. We need to get to them, recognize them, and support them better. And this project in the third term is one little window of opportunity where we can help them. And at the same time, we can bring this world-class sort of science in a very South African way. So we're working with all the universities, we're working on pre- and in-service training. We have academics internationally and locally helping to make this stuff real. But in the end, it comes down to the teachers and the amazing work that they do.
James, you just touched on the teacher support element, but how will the E3 program change the culture of the classroom, and how will students benefit from this program? What's the ultimate goal?
Yes, the ultimate goal by 2035 is we want to radically reduce youth unemployment. Youth unemployment is the biggest challenge that our country faces, and also the biggest opportunity. So in order to get there, we need every young person to finish school, ready and prepared to thrive in those 3 E's: entrepreneurship, education, employability. So the pilot's been running for about 3 years, and it's committed to run, until at least 2030. So it's already working. This year, by halfway through next year, we'll have been in over 3,000 schools, where schools have gotten engaged. They've nominated teachers, nominated champions to learn about this special environment that you can create, a learning environment. There's a whole teaching and learning framework that they can get SATE accredited points, et cetera, et cetera. There are about 108 primary schools that are getting a really deep dive focus, working in every province. And then early next year, there'll be a big component launched where schools across the country can opt in to get resources, become part of a community, and really use the technology. So if I can just say that WhatsApp line I mentioned, the DBE's Teacher Connect line, it's relatively easy to remember. It's 060 060 3333. Everyone's on WhatsApp. If you just WhatsApp the word hi to that line, you'll be able to get zero-rated access learning. You can do SACE accredited courses and really find a way to get directly to the individual teachers. So teachers are really running projects. We've just done visits to more than 90 schools. Really remarkable to see, grade 6 teachers doing a project about something as diverse as bullying, all the way across to going to visit, a local factory, and then doing their assessments, whether it's maths or English or life orientation, in and amongst those conversations. So you can even see what those projects look like. We have teams of experts, teachers themselves, writing the projects. But really, it's about allowing learners to learn, and it's allowing teachers to test and learn themselves, just to try out these new things, to do it slowly, to not feel overwhelmed, and realize that it'll actually make their lives easier.
Give us that number again, James.
It's 060 060 3333. So 060 060 3333, or just Google Teacher Connect, and you'll be able to find it. And like I said, WhatsApp obviously doesn't cost a lot. But once you go through Teacher Connect to the web, it's zero-rated, so it won't use any of your data. There's courses and material, and you can sign up and stay connected with us.
All right, James Donald, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, James Donald there is the Executive Director of the Department of Education's E3 program, which seeks to bring high-quality project-based learning to scale.